Hey guys, time for a daily build and burn with Pauline Nordin. That's me, by the way. Today I'm gonna talk about things that my Instagram people asked me to have on video today. So it's let's see. I'm gonna go by the questions here. My Instagram is, by the way, instagram.com/Pauline Nordin. Here are the questions. Okay. Dan asked, what's my daily diet is as opposed to a specific meal you're having that day. Okay, so usually I don't eat exactly the same every day, but I'm very regimented, so it turns out that I usually do. But I usually vary the vegetable I'm eating. And sometimes the protein, otherwise it's more or less the same. So meal one is oat bran cooked with either cocoa powder or cinnamon, and then I mix chocolate protein powder in it if it's with chocolate. Sometimes I have Lily's chocolate chips in it, and if I do the vanilla version, it's oat bran cooked with cinnamon, and then I add my Phytodiet whey protein in vanilla. Sometimes I do it with egg whites instead. Then after that I have BCAAs. No, like they're gonna be before and after. Okay, I'm not gonna talk about those. Later I have a protein shake, a whey protein shake before my workout, and then I have a whey protein shake after my workout. I mix the pre-workout whey protein with my decaf Americanos that you see me drink all the time. And then I have the big dinner, which usually is a lot of cabbage with mustard, pig salmon mixed. Sometimes I have a shirataki noodles added. Sometimes I go and get whole food vegetables, whatever they have there, and I eat egg whites as an egg white omelette. So this is a meal where I'm varying a lot. Like if I need more carbs, I eat butternut squash. If I need less, I eat spinach. Sometimes I have shirataki noodles and turkey bacon plus my vegetables. So this is like the meal where you see mostly flexibility. If I have to really watch my calories, I always eat my vegetables steamed, because I hate that, so I'm not as hungry. And if I can afford it, I love to do use like grilled vegetables, which have some oil added. Actually, the best thing I know that I could eat, like if it was a free food, I would be so happy. It's vegetables roasted or sautéed in oil. Oh, it's so tasty. And then after that, I usually have chocolate protein powder again with Greek non-fat plain yogurt, cocoa powder. Did I mention that? And then a little erythritol, which is like a sugar alcohol, which has minimal calories, but it tastes like sugar. And then I have Lily's chocolate chips in it, and that's usually my last meal about 11:30 p.m. So basically there's three big meals and then a lot of protein powder. And people always say that you can't rely on protein powder, but I've done that since I started in 1999. As you can see, I'm pretty muscular, maybe not in this light. Have you seen me twice now talk about that I look skinny? Because it's so light in this building. Sorry. Okay, so that was... Then we have the refeed. The refeed, usually I double the oat bran, so it's 200 grams. And then I keep the protein down like normal, like I don't add double amount of oat bran. And then usually I have like a big volume of squash, butternut squash, because I really like that. I like kabocha squash even more, but kabocha squash means that I have to prepare it, and I really don't have time for meal prep. And then usually I have Jello sugar-free chocolate pudding with cocoa powder. You realize how much I love chocolate. It's sugar-free, but it's not carb-free. Okay, so, and then I add protein powder, and I also have some Lily's chocolate chips there. So that's more my my refeed. If I want to have refeed where I have more like normal food and to have it like treat meals, I would say I would go for a big fat steak and grilled vegetables, because I don't like to mix a lot of fat plus a lot of carbs. That's more like a treat. And then I like to have 2 or 3 very unhealthy protein bars after that. I love protein bars, but they're not healthy, so they're treats. Okay, so that was that question. Paul Karami asked about my MiG-29 experience. I don't know really what to say except for it was one of my best 3 days of my life. My dream would be to be on one of those Lockheed, is it SR-77 or 76? I don't know, but it's the black bird. If I could be on one of those, it would make my life, okay? But flying, so I went up to the edge of space, but the best part was more about doing the loops and the Cuban 8. This is what I could do a certain way. And the feeling when you have the G-force is coming to you, it's very hard to explain. It's like an out-of-body experience, and it's like this big wall of gel comes at you like little by little, and you can't really think about anything but just being there. And it's like, I've tried to explain it many times, but it's like a non-sexual orgasm. And then when you come to, there's no gravity at all, like no G-force, you're just hanging, like it's amazing. And so I went up to 8.7 Gs. I wanted to do 9. That's what I want to do. So I have to go back to Russia to do more loops, but it costs a lot. But it's on my plan. I love Russia, by the way. All right. Diet and stubborn fat. Okay, so stubborn fat is a part of your body which is not getting leaner when the whole other body is lean already. Usually the part, like for me, it's my abs. For some people, it's like the chin. And triceps can be one part, lower back for men. For women, it's usually glutes and thighs. But I see a lot of confusion because people say they have stubborn fat when they're fat all over. That's not stubborn fat. That just means you haven't dieted. You have to do it for a long time. You have to get rid of all the other fat before your body will ever attempt to take away that. And when you try to lose your stubborn fat, you're going to have to fight forever, because it's that part of your body where your body is going to pull from fat at the last resort, but it's where you're going to regain fat the fastest. And there's no real formula either, but in order to trick your body into dropping that fat, is that you have to do, you have to diet, like fighter diet, and then you have to have refeeds. Because you can try to just starve your body over and over, you're not going to win. Refeeds manipulate this a little, so your body feels more comfortable, it's not as scared of getting lean and so on. So definitely read up on refeeds. You can go to my blog, fighterdiet.com/blog, type in search term refeed. You can also buy the concept book. JC says, what about dating someone who likes to eat bad but you're a diet freak? It's complicated. My experience is that I seem to attract men who eat a lot of junk and they are in great shape, and then they try to get me to eat their stuff, and I'm just like, I don't have your metabolism. I'm a woman, I have a slow metabolism, and I have goals that are lofty, that are not supposed to be for me, because my body is not lean by nature, I have to work really hard. So I just don't eat what they want. I mean, they can try to stuff myself an ice cream, like, come on, eat it. But who is it for? They think that that's going to make me happier, but it's not when I'm going to wake up feeling fatter. So just ignore those, and if I usually make a pact, like if you're going to have a problem with my food, it's like a no negotiation, because I'm not going to invite someone into my life and then have to fight for everything I do. You have to be with someone who accepts you for who you are and your choices, as long as you're not destructive. For instance, if you're together with someone who starves himself into being like a skeleton, of course you should help. But fitness is different. I mean, we're not underweight. And also they have to remember that if it's like your profession to look a certain way, I mean, if you're a model or if you are, what do you call those things that rides on horses? Jockey, or you fight in a weight division, that people are trying to sabotage you by eating more. It's either arrogance or it's ignorance. They don't know that what it takes. So simply don't date someone who gives you a hard time. Harvey Guman asks, from where the fitness industry is right now, where can you see it going in 5 to 10 years time? In 5 to 10 years time, I believe that people will be more educated about all the false advertising, about the over-retouched pictures where they're so airbrushed it doesn't even look like a person. I think the ones who will survive are the people like me who are honest and raw and provide information and content. Just putting up an ass picture and then not even a program to get that butt, or even worse, alter the picture so it's like a big ass, or even get implants in your ass and then saying that I got this with a workout program. I think people will be smart enough by then that they don't buy it. I also hope that the weird ideals of having a big fat butt and then skinny legs and everything else skinny is gonna fade out. I don't think that's gonna be something that works. I also think that people will be more positive about eating healthy and stop doing the fad diets because they know it's not working. That's what I think. And me in that fitness industry, I hope to be one day like Oprah is for people in general. Like I could be the Oprah of fitness. That would be great. I want to be inspire people throughout my life. Like when I'm 40, if I'm lucky to live, I want to be the best at my 40s, my 50s, my 60s, and so on until I die. Knit Addiction asks, working out when you have an injury and how to strengthen it and not exaggerate it. So if you have an injury, you cannot keep on training it and think that you're going to be well. Do not ever pop ibuprofen, Aleve, or anything else that masks the pain, because what you can do then is you damage it even more. And ibuprofen can actually inhibit muscle growth. You don't really want to have that habit. It's very common in CrossFit communities, and I'm not saying anything. There's a lot of good CrossFit people. I'm just saying that this is like I say, steroids are very common in the fitness community, in bodybuilding, and ibuprofen is very common in CrossFit communities. Do not do that. It's bad. You have to train around your injury. Like I had these 2 strains in my hamstrings. The worst moves were anything that the hamstrings are supposed to do, which is extend the hips. I could not do anything that was like feeling like a stretch. It just was impossible. So I listened to that and I did moves that didn't cause pain. As long as you listen to your pain, not the burn in your muscles, the pain, real pain, you're good to go. Also, try to prevent the injury from reoccurring by actually analyze why did you get this injury, what can you do, train your body as a whole complex, not like a body part here and there. When you start working out, I remember when I started working out, I read everywhere that people get very injured in these parts: shoulders, hamstrings, got that one, back. So I said, okay, I'm not going to be like everyone else. I'm going to have very strong shoulders, very strong back, and glute. Okay, good, I'm here. Sim Vicious asks, workouts for diastasis recti. Okay, diastasis recti is when your 2 abdominal sheets are separating and the fascia in the middle there is going to separate. Usually with birth, but it can also be in people in general. I have some separation, always had. So what do? You want to make sure that you always engage your core muscles, that you're not pushing your belly out, you're contracting your abs. It's the transversus abdominis. So everything that is plank, that you can control your abdomen so you don't let your belly push out, it's going to help. Sometimes if you need to retighten it, you can have surgery for it. I'm not really sure if that's gonna help, actually. They can put some mesh in. But otherwise, be aware of your core muscles so you don't push the belly. A lot of people are standing like their stomach like this, like that. And they say like, I don't know why my stomach is like pushing out. You have to contract. It's like if someone is, he stole my chair. If someone is punching in the stomach, you're not standing there with your stomach out, you're contracting. That's this feeling you need to have for safe training in abdominals, especially for diastasis recti or recti diastasis. Water retention, how do I get rid of it? Water retention is something that basically women suffer from all the time. I'm one of those, so my body loves water. But it's the same thing with stubborn fat. People think it's water retention when it's just that you have more fat than you want to admit. The leaner you get, the more visible a daily fluctuation will be. Like one day you can be ripped, and the next day your abs are like bloated like a whale. That's me in a nutshell. Like when I go in for a photo shoot, I can just hope that I have a good day because my belly always is very moody. Like one day it can be cut and the next day it looks like someone else's body. It's always been like that my whole life, so I try to accept it. But water retention, if you suddenly increase your sodium and you're not used to it, you're going to have some water retention before your body gets accustomed to it. If you dehydrate yourself by not drinking enough, then your body's going to retain more salt. When you have when your estrogen levels rise in the mid-cycle, usually that attracts water because estrogen attracts sodium and the sodium attracts water. So you can't really do much about it. Those diuretics and so on that won't help. It's just a daily fluctuation. So what you need to do to minimize it is to keep your salt in a normal level and keep it regularly. So you're not going on salt up one day and then salt down one day because your body's going to be like, hey, we don't know what's going on. Drink a lot of water and also get as lean as possible because then at least you can see the difference is actually fat. Actually water, not just fat. Sometimes you can actually feel a difference, like if you do like this in your skin, there's no like marbles where you have water retention. If you feel marbles, it's fat. If it's just soft, it usually means it's water. Chris asks, how much cardio is too much when trying to gain muscle? So if cardio takes too much energy from you, so your training intensity is going down because you're doing too much cardio, that's a warning. You cannot do more cardio than you can handle. If you don't allow enough time to recover because you are going and doing cardio as well, then also you can see that your strength will go down and you will have sore muscles all the time. How much cardio you do will depend on goals, your metabolism, and also your schedule. People usually have an overbelief in cardio, what it can do for a lean body. Like, you can get lean without doing any cardio at all. I mean, having good fitness level aerobically would be good because your body would be better at burning fat. But let's say sprinters, they train in less, like 10 seconds. They don't really burn any fat when they are training, but they're really lean because they have a lot of type 2 muscle fibers that are like fast, and they can load more muscle glycogen. So basically, they just have a better setup for the body. Also, they're usually very strict with the diets because they don't want to have any excess weight because it's gonna make them slower. You always want to have, like, I'm very fascinated by sprinters because they want to have as much, they want to be as fast as possible and they need muscles in order to explode. But if they carry too much, then it might slow them down. It's just like you have to find that exact level where you have maximized your ability and also you're not having any dead weight. And muscle can be dead weights for sprinters, as well as for anyone in a weight in weight divisions as well. So always think about this. If your goal is gain muscle, why are you doing cardio? If you don't even know why, then you wonder, like, what's your goal? You always have to think about what's my primary goal and how do I achieve it. Doing a lot of cardio will never be good for building muscle. And the same thing as training, overtraining. Oh, this is a good scenario. So one thing that my workouts in the challenges are really tough. And sometimes people can't do the load and they have to cut down the volume, because if you do too much, you're gonna be overtrained. And if you're overtrained, your success is gonna drop down. You always have to find that you have to pay attention to your body, see the biofeedback you get, and see, okay, am I doing too much? I'm going too little. Do you see Goosegump here? You don't, but he's laying in my lap. So if you feel, let's say, how many sets should you do? Well, it depends. Like, the good thing with doing a lot of sets, that I love that, is that it burns a lot of calories. So it's a way of training that is not cardio, that just expends calories. But the problem is that the more you do, the more your strength is gonna go down, your intensity is gonna go down. You start to pace yourself, and when you pace yourself, you're not really pushing in max amounts. So always, when I go in the gym and I have a workout, if I see that I'm starting to pace myself, because I know that I have 5 sets or 10 sets, 10 by 10 German volume style. If I see that, I cut down the sets, so I have to push more in each set. And just because something is on a program, like let's say you have a program with tons of stuff, like my workouts from hell, like, you know, you're not supposed to go in and achieve like excellent, like walk through the workout, you could do everything, because then it's not. You need to have a workout that challenges you. But if it challenges you too much, it's like, if you can't just have a candle here, and then if you blow it a little, it can stay up. But if you blow too much, it's gonna blow out. And it's the same thing with training. You have to have your individual ability, and it doesn't make you a bad person that you can't keep up. Because if you are on your feet 12 hours a day and you're also not fit, you just started out, of course you can't do a workout program to 100% as someone who's elite level, who only trains for a living, who does have a sedentary job so they can recover. Yeah. I think that's all we have to have here today. And I'm gonna be on Fighter Diet page as well. Please spread my videos, because the more you spread them, the more I'm gonna be here with you. So thank you for watching. Sign up for the next Build and Burn challenge, and also my vegan protein powder is coming out soon. That is not with soy, and this doesn't have. It's very good. And what else do I have to say? No, I think that's about it. All right, talk to you soon.